You've spoken these words more times than you can count, at weddings, at funerals, before sleep, out of habit, out of fear, out of tradition, and yet no one ever stopped to tell you what they were actually doing to you. Because the Lord's Prayer was never meant to be memorized. It was never meant to be repeated mechanically. And it was never meant to keep you small. It was designed to wake you up, not after death, not in some distant heaven, but right now, fipwi-sihui, inside your breath, your body, your awareness. Jesus never said, repeat this. He said, pray like this. Meaning, this is a pattern, a sequence, a technology of consciousness. And once you see it, not as religion, but as activation, you will never hear these words the same way again. This prayer is not asking God to do something. It is showing you how to remember who you are. Let's begin where awakening always begins. Not with belief, not with obedience, but with identity. Our Father. That first word already breaks the illusion. Our. Not my. Not me, not mine. The moment you say it consciously, something subtle happens. The isolated self dissolves. You step out of spiritual loneliness. You remember that awakening was never meant to be a solo journey. You are not calling out to God as a stranger. You are speaking Kuchbin from within a shared origin. This one word dismantles the ego's favorite lie, that you are alone. R places you back into the original communion. Not a church, not an institution, but a living network of consciousness, seekers, rememberers, those who never fully fit into the world, because something inside them always knew there was more. When you say ours, you stop praying at God and start praying from within the family of God. Father. This word has been distorted more than almost any other. Jesus did not mean a bearded authority figure in the sky. He did not mean hierarchy. He did not mean fear-based obedience. The Aramaic word he used carried layers, modern language lost, source, origin, womb, breath giver, creative intelligence, not masculine in gender, but generative in nature. This means something radical. You were not created as a mistake. You were not born broken. You were not thrown into existence and told to earn love. You emerged from intention, from intelligence, from consciousness that wanted to know itself through you. When Jesus used this word, he wasn't putting God above you. He was reminding you where you came from, not as a slave, not as a sinner, but as an expression of the same source. Who art in heaven? Here is where centuries of misunderstanding begin. Because heaven was never a location. Jesus never pointed upward when he spoke of it. He pointed inward. He said it clearly. The kingdom of God is within you. So when this line speaks of heaven, it is not talking about distance. It is talking about its dimension. Heaven is a state of coherence, a level of awareness, a frequency of being where separation dissolves. It is the part of you untouched by trauma. The part that still knows truth without needing proof. The part that was never corrupted by fear. When you speak this line consciously, you are not addressing God far away. You are calling attention to the divine field already present within you. You are saying, I recognize the source within the unseen dimension of my own being. This is not worship. This is remembrance. Hallowed be thy name. This line was never about politeness. It was about vibration. In the ancient world, a name was not a label. It was an essence, a frequency, a pattern of being. The divine name in the Hebrew tradition was never fully spoken because it wasn't meant to be pronounced like normal words. It was breath. Inhale, exhale. The soundless name that lives between. Which means something astonishing. Every time you breathe, you are already participating in the divine name. Jesus wasn't telling people to revere God externally. He was teaching them to recognize the sacred already moving through their lungs. Hallowed doesn't mean keep distant. It means recognize as sacred within lived experience. Your breath becomes the temple. Your body becomes the sanctuary. Your presence becomes prayer. This line recalibrates you. It brings your awareness back into resonance with Source. Thy kingdom come. This sentence frightened empires. Because it is not passive, it does not say, "Take me away." It says, "Arrive here." The kingdom was never meant to be entered after death. It was meant to be embodied during life. A kingdom is not a place. It is an order, a way reality organizes itself. Jesus was not asking for a future escape. He was declaring a present invasion, of truth into illusion, of coherence into chaos. When you speak this line consciously, you are not waiting. You are consenting. You are saying, "Let the divine pattern reassert itself through me." This is why religious systems tried to soften this line, because a person who believes the kingdom must come through them is impossible to control. You are not here to flee the world. You are here to restore alignment within it. Thy will be done. This was never about submission. The original meaning was closer to sacred intention, creative impulse, divine desire seeking expression. Not God forcing outcomes, but God moving you through aligned consciousness. This line is not asking to disappear. It is offering to participate. It is saying, "Let the deepest intelligence move through my choices." And then comes the blueprint, on earth as it is in heaven. This is embodiment, not belief, not theory, alignment. It means what is true internally must become visible externally. What is coherent in consciousness must shape behavior, relationships, action. Heaven is not a reward. It is a Chikiku state reflected outward. When your inner world stabilizes in truth, the outer world reorganizes in response. This is not mysticism. This is resonance.